And hello again there, YouTube. Stampede Valkyrie coming at you again with a requested video on a probably not rare light, nor is it, I don't even know if it's uncommon. This was actually discovered by accident, and at least up until 2015, McDermott actually sold domes for this light up on their website. Back when their website looked like something made from Yahoo GeoCities. Now that they've updated all that, haven't been back to their site in a while, any mention of this beacon is gone. But what we're looking at here is a Julian McDermott, teardrop light. Basically the equivalent of a fireball, but the only reason why I have this Magna beam sitting here on the left is this is a size comparison. You kind of get an idea of how big this is. This teardrop is bigger than an original fireball. I don't have an original fireball right now to grab to compare size. So just give you an idea, most people know how big this light is. And when you compare the two of them and actually take a look, you can see they're about the same size. So things to talk about with this light. It's pretty basic. Again, this one comes from a fire hall that closed down. There's the bottom of it. You can see Julian A. McDermott Corp. This one actually shows it out of, if I can catch the light just right, Union Bridge, Maryland. All right, and then the dome, and all three domes say this, by the way. I can show you that here in a moment. The dome, if you can read that, catch the light. So J.A. McDermott, Corp. Looks like an SAE date. It's kind of hard for me to read from the this light, but it does say Queens, New York. And so an SAE date of 77 is what's actually stamped on the dome itself. So kind of interesting. The only reason why, like I said, I'm bringing this out is somebody requested to see a picture of this. I have not run into too many of these. These probably were everywhere. They're kind of cheap. The domes are swappable by undoing a Phillips head here, a Phillips head here, and then the dome just pops off. Speaking of spare domes, it's interesting. I actually have a couple of them. I did not expect this. I found them in my boxes. Probably all of the same light. There we go. You can kind of get a little bit better picture of what it says. The McDermott, Queens, New York, S77 or SAE of 77. So there's a red dome. This is probably the original, as it's got the most wear on it. And then the blue, I believe, was ordered more recently. Like I said, I was able to get these domes up until about 2015, and now there's no mention of them at all. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and power this guy up and see what we can do in regards to getting some video of the colors running. So starting things off, let's take a look at the green. It's actually not a bad looking light. It really isn't. I mean, just about everybody was making fireball or teardrop style lights at one point. This would be McDermott's version of it. I don't know if that bulb is factory or not. I couldn't tell you. Again, this was pulled from a different source, or it was pulled for something else. And then once they threw a different color dome on it, it was used a little bit by one of our more, if you want to call it, exec or whatever you want to call it, fire chiefs. He was a little bit more into the vintage lighting, and this was found, and he wanted to put a light on it, but never used the green. I'm not sure why I have a green dome here. I think it might have just been because I could find a green dome, but there it is in a nutshell. I'll actually put some other lights to do a little bit of walk around. Again, this is, I don't believe this is a rare light by any means. It's just a fireball clone. It does work. I mean, it's not really chatty. It seems to work pretty well. It's just green, so I figured to show you this one. The cord on this one is pretty standard, cigarette lighter cord, curly Q type plug. You come around and I'll swap the other domes, and we'll get some video of all three colors. Also going to do this a little out of order, as I had a little bit of a fun time getting this rear screw to pop out, as in the magic of splicing in videos, but I figured if I had it open, I'd kind of just give you an idea of what it looks like with the dome off. Again, this is definitely newer. I'm not seeing any identifying marks on the motor that would give me a manufacture date. It's definitely a newer motor, almost like, I'm going to say almost Code 3-ish in style, something you'd find on the XL 5000s as I adjust the camera a little bit. But you can kind of see there, you got the resistor on there, and this is coming in. It's pretty basic, plastic worm gear. Probably could use a little bit of grease. Definitely plastic drive gear, and then an incandescent bulb. Almost looks like a Federal, I think that's what, an 1159 or something like that. I don't know, or the type that you'd find in the old Federal fireballs and stuff like that. So who knows? I mean, I don't think that's the original bulb, pardon me, primarily due to the fact that I think this light probably came around long after those bulbs stopped being used. So who knows? I could be wrong, but it is magnetic on the bottom, and let's swap a dome and keep chugging. And now we've got the much more commonly found red dome. Bear with me a moment here as I'm playing with my power supply. There we go. So there's the red. Again, as I zero this out, the domes themselves are in fairly decent shape. Again, here's, as I showed you the green, we'll go through a red. I'll give you a quick walk around here as I'm trying to keep this brief. Again, I don't know the model of this light. Somebody else could probably come in and tell me. There's not a lot of information on these. The only thing I can tell you, it is unique because, again, it isn't a McDermott light. So it's kind of neat. I guess it's kind of better than some of the Chinese lights they make nowadays. But fireball lights or fireball style lights were incredibly popular in the 70s and well, especially the early 80s. Everywhere. Many different companies made them. Signalstat, Star, SVP, which SVP became Star. Obviously Federal, McDermott had their hand in it. Several other manufacturers that I'm failing to mention at this point here just because, you know, Chinese KOs and stuff like that. But let's get down here. You can definitely effective. I mean, it does work. I'm not going to say this is a junk light. It's just not. It's not a fireball, honestly. But all right, let's swap a dome one more time. And now we come back now to the final dome. Again, this is a new dome, or at least newer dome. The red dome was the one that was originally on the light and was used. The green and the blues were acquired later. I'm not sure, probably just because of where I'm at here in PA. Blue is common for many volunteer firefighter agencies and EMS too. So blue was definitely the more common. But here we go, blue one going. Again, same thing. I'll give you the walk around as I try not to kill myself in my yard, being extremely uneven. The rabbits love me. They like to dig holes. That's it. I mean, in a nutshell, I'm just trying to stay out of the sun too, because I know the sun will wash these guys out. But that's it. I mean, in a nutshell, I'll see if I can kind of do a little bit of a flash off between this and that Federal, if I can get them set up and get an idea of what I'm talking about. But it's not bad. I mean, again, it's a Federal. I'm not a Federal. It's a fireball type light. These little lights were everywhere, and I think they do the job. LED lights are obviously the way to go nowadays, but I could still find a use for this. I mean, it is 360 warning, and it's super portable. I don't know if I would leave this outside, though. This would definitely be a throw light. This is not a light that I would mount permanently outside. There's no gasket or anything on the inside to stop moisture from coming in, especially considering the fact that there's just 2 screws holding the lens down. This would definitely be a throw light. I've seen people do other things with other lights, but this is definitely just portable light. So let's see if I can hook up both the fireball or this guy and that MagnaBeam at the same time, and you get an idea. I think the MagnaBeam is going to dominate it in both speed and brightness, because I think the MagnaBeam actually has an H1 bulb in it, or a halogen bulb, and this one's not. But it's at least worth a comparison. And I stand corrected. The Federal light is actually a fire beam, not a MagnaBeam. I apologize for that one. The MagnaBeams, I believe, are the ones that oscillate. I have one of those somewhere. For the life of me, I don't know what it is or where it is. I was calling it a MagnaBeam because of that. That is not my tag. Somebody else's tag on there. I just wanted the shield for it. So there we go. Fire beam versus this McDermott no brand. I'm going to call it a Model 77 because that's what's on the dome. Here we go. A fire beam first. And other one next. And there we go. I mean, bear with me on my shaky cam as I get into a better position. Yeah, I mean, the flashes per minute are a lot higher on the Federal light. The McDermott light does flash. For brightness wise, definitely a halogen light there on the left. The right side there with that McDermott is not a halogen light, but they both do the job. I wouldn't actually knock either one of them for what they are. Again, this is just halogen lighting. What is it? I've seen LED bar or LED mini throw lights that are comparable, but I still actually have to say that at least the halogen lighting, I think, still has a one-up on it in regards to a pop. So there it is in a nutshell. Trying to keep a video short, and we're pushing almost 10 minutes. Hopefully this answers some questions and helps out the people that were asking me about this light.